What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the best Madden franchise playthrough ever. I'm super excited for this. You might think I'm being a little bit dramatic, but there's a few reasons why I think this is going to be the best Madden franchise ever. First off, this Madden franchise playthrough is completely modded. I'm playing on PC. There are 4 mods installed that completely, I mean completely, change the way that this playthrough is going to go. It's going to make it hard, but it's going to make it realistic, fun, and the Madden modding community on Discord has put in mods that directly affect the franchise mode in the ways that us, the community, want them to. There has been complete overhaul on the scouting updates, on gameplay, on AI, on logic, on the way players trade and draft. And when I mean players, I mean teams, the AI themselves. And I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. I've already made a video. I'll link that up here in the top right now if you want to watch it. 30 minutes where I go in detail of all the things that are getting changed. And this is going to make this playthrough so much fun. Another reason is that we're not taking an easy team. I let you guys vote between 4 teams: the Seahawks, the Giants, the Broncos, and the Bears. Another reason why this playthrough is going to be so fun is that I am going to keep this thing as realistic and as fun as possible. I'm also going to be throwing in some random scenarios that will directly affect our players, from maybe potentially making them retire, or we're having to trade them, to keep things interesting and fresh. Because one of the things that Madden does not implement in their game is like off the field scenarios, weird things happening, like Antonio Brown just leaving the field, or Jason Pierre-Paul having like a fireworks accident, or Cam Newton getting in a wreck before a game. There are always a lot of things that happen that change the way a team has to play in the upcoming games, in the upcoming season. It's just always craziness in the NFL, and I'm going to implement that in this playthrough. But without further ado, who are we going to choose for our playthrough? Time to roll the intro.
Playground parks with the trees and the cars, brownstone buildings with the kids on the porch, murals on the walls for the ones that we lost, bodegas on the corner, let me see what's in store, subway stations with the maps in the cars, summer cookouts, uncle got the sandals on, Statue of Liberty, we holding up the torch. If they ask where I'm from, tell them this is New York. We from the home of the biggie, people blowing they say.
All right, guys, so here we are. We got the New York Football Giants, and the Giants are much like the Carolina Panthers, my favorite team. They've got a lot of questions on that offensive line. They don't know who their quarterback of the future is. They've got a very strong secondary, but they need a lot of help. So we're in here. We're going to help, and we're going to create a new coach. Joe Judge is out. It looks like David Gettleman is probably going to retire, quote unquote, retire at the end of the season. So new coordinator, a new general manager, a new coach in Frank Donk. Let's go ahead and create our custom coach, and we're going to use a staff builder because that helps us out with modification talent trees in the coaching skill tree. And of course, we're going to change the name, because if you don't know by now, it's Frank Donk. Okay, Mr. Frank Donk is going to come in and completely change the way that the New York Football Giants are looked at in the NFL. If you want to know a little bit about how I am going to play in this game, is I'm going to keep everything realistic. We're going to use coach suggestions. I'm only going to use one player on defense. I will only control the quarterback. I'll throw the ball. I'll let the ratings actually take over. If I get the ball as a running back, meaning that we're going to run it, then I'm going to obviously take off and run throughout that entire play. But I like to see the ratings come out. And with these new mods installed, I think we're going to see a lot of cool things in gameplay, things that you're not normally used to seeing, especially from the AI. Things are going to be very hard. And it's going to be up to us to make sure that we put the best team on the field so that we have the best chance of winning. All right, guys, so here we are in week 17. One of the mods starts you out in week 17 with all the correct schedules or records. I went ahead, and because the last week in the NFL is finishing up right now with the Raiders and the Chargers playing right at this moment, actually playing right behind me here, is I went ahead and forced all the home and away correct wins for week 17 and 18 outside of that one game so that the draft order is correct. I wanted to make sure everything plays out as realistic as possible, because this is what this franchise is all about. Let's go ahead and look at the team. If you're not familiar with the New York Football Giants, then it's time to get you familiar with them. And it all starts with the whole Danny Dimes out of Duke. Is that who we really want to go with? He's got hurt. Mike Glenn and Jake Fromm. Jake Fromm actually played today. Outside is Saquon Barkley, very highly talented, a lot like Christian McCaffrey in the Carolina Panthers. He has been hurt for a good portion of his career, so we need to work on trying to keep him healthy. And what has been one of the big reasons why he can't stay healthy was because no one can protect him. He's constantly getting beat up because the offensive line for the New York Football Giants is not very good. Now, Will Hernandez, Nate Solder, we're probably going to look at trying to build the offensive line this first year. We still got Danny Dimes under contract for another year. We still got Saquon Barkley. We paid a lot of money for Kenny Galladay, who didn't even catch a freaking touchdown this season. That was very weird. So I think our main focus this upcoming year is, especially in the draft and free agency, is going to build this offensive line as much as possible. When we go to defense, well, we've got Leonard Williams, we got Dexter Lawrence. The secondary for the New York Football Giants is pretty good. And it all starts with James Bradbury. Came from the Carolina Panthers, looking pretty good. We got Adoree Jackson here as well. And Adoree Jackson is a very viable starter. He's 4 years. We're going to look at re-signing him. I think outside of that, we probably are going to switch up. I haven't played a lot of 3-4 defense in years past. I might switch it to 4-3 just because that's what I'm comfortable with doing. So that'll be one of the things that we switch. We'll keep the Joe Judge playbook. I don't really know how that's going to work out, but we're going to switch to a 4-3 just because I'm not very good at a 3-4. Another thing to mention is that this mod also came baked in with the next 3 draft pools already put in place. So I don't have to worry about adding any new drafts. You can see here that we've got Thibodeau, we've got Evan Neal, we've got Aiden Hutchinson, we've got Kenny Pickett. Everybody's in here. So we don't have to worry about that for the next 3 years. Our scouts already put in place. This is week 16, so we can't go in and change up all of this. It looks like it was already set up with tight ends. We've got, we got a right tackle and a center. So those are 2 positions that we're kind of scouting. I would have done a lot more offensive line help there as well. Another thing that I wanted to show you guys is that all of the assistant coaches is also put in here too. It's just a really cool, very cool mod that was added here. And you could see Freddie Kitchens and Patrick Graham are here. So Frank Dot comes in, he keeps the same offensive and defensive coordinator, at least for right now. We'll have to look and see if we're going to switch this up, but this goes all across the board. I mean, we go to the Jaguars, there's Darrell Bevel, Brian Schottenheimer, Joe Cullen, and the list goes on and on and on and on. Robert Saleh, Mike LaFleur. So this is going to be very cool. We'll have those that we possibly could poach to bring to our team as well. Another thing that you'll also notice is we're in week 18 is that there's nowhere for us to sign our players. What happened here? That's another thing added in the mod is that there is no more in-season signing of our current players. So if we've got players that are getting ready to run out of their contract, we can't sign them till the offseason, which means that the offseason free agent market is going to be ridiculous. It's going to make things harder because there's going to be a lot of bidding in players, but it's going to make things a lot more realistic and a lot more fun for us moving forward. We also do not have any more focus player scouting. Now, the entire progression system has also been modded as well. I know I'm going through a lot of different things. And if you watch that video, like I mentioned before, you will get a complete outline on everything that's changing. So guys, here we are in the Pro Bowl week. Let's go ahead and look at this playoff bracket. See who we got in the Super Bowl. It's going to be the Patriots and the Cowboys. Talk about some upsets there against the Titans and the Packers. So the Packers are going to fall flat right before the Super Bowl. And now we got a Cowboys-Patriots matchup. That's one for the ages. 2 dynasties that are very well known, who've won multiple championships. That would actually be a fun one to watch. But again, we're all about the Giants here. Let's go ahead and look at the Pro Bowl roster. Did the Giants have anybody on the Pro Bowl? Saquon Barkley's there. Do we have anybody else? Old Giant there, and Odell Beckham. I don't imagine that's probably just about it. I might miss somebody. All right, guys. So here we are officially after the Super Bowl, and you'll never believe who won it. The Cowboys. As a Giants head coach now, that's a slap in the face. First year in and your division rival actually wins the Super Bowl. So we've got a lot to prove. The Dallas Cowboys beat the New England Patriots 40-23. I mean, they just in a bashing by 17. Super Bowl 56. Cowboys win. They're world champions. And let's look at the awards. Patrick Mahomes wins NFL MVP. Coach of the Year goes Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys. Offensive Player of the Year, Patrick Mahomes also wins that as well. We would think that should be going to Cooper Kupp, right? Defensive Player of the Year is Von Miller. Offensive Rookie of the Year is Najee Harris. And again, that's very, again, that's that Madden logic. But some of that should have been corrected. And then Defensive Rookie of the Year for the Lions was Ifeatu Melifonwu. I don't even know how to say that. I'm sure I just butchered that. I have no idea how to say his name. All right, so here we are officially in the offseason. Very weird to do it this way, where the offseason is the very first stuff. that we talk about, but I kind of like it. This is like the most exciting part of rebuilds. And like I said, re-signing players only happens in the offseason. We can't do that during the middle of the season, which means we've got a lot of players who are ready to negotiate. 31. In fact, we also have 6 players that we need to cut. I'm not really sure what that's about, but let's go ahead and look at this mock draft, because this was another thing that got changed in the mod, is how the AI logic determines what players they need to pick. And this is a lot more accurate than what it was before. So you see even Evan Neal, left tackle, that's very realistic. I see the Jags taking that. Kenny Pickett, quarterback, Lions, I could see that. They've got the Giants with the 3rd pick overall. I thought we had the 5th. Not really sure. Taking Sam Howell. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now, we're not taking Sam Howell to 3rd overall pick. If we have a chance to take anybody, it's probably going to be another left tackle, but we'll just see. We'll play it by ear. We're going to make sure that we get players that will fill a need and are going to be game changers for our franchise, because this is going to be a dynasty. We're going to make the Giants an absolute dynasty. This says we need to cut 6 players. So let's go ahead and look at this, and yeah, we're going to cut you. So let's go ahead and view the retirements as well. There's going to be a lot of interesting stuff here. Let's see who all retired. Anybody? Matthew Slater, Mercedes Lewis, Russell Okung. There's a few linemen there that's gone. And Dominican Sue retires. Antonio Brown retires. It's probably best for him, right? KJ Wright, Richie Incognito, Gerald McCoy. Nate Solder retires from the Giants. So we did have somebody that retired from the Giants. So they already I can go ahead and tell you that right tackle was going to be something that we were going to try to address, and that makes it even more important. Let's go ahead and go into our negotiations. Let's see who all we need to re-sign. Now, is Jabril Peppers a need for us? And Jonah Williams, yeah, we're going to go ahead and withdraw our offer. We're not going to re-sign you. Jabril Peppers, Evan Ingram, I think are all players that we need to look at possibly re-signing. Evan Ingram's been one of those players that really hasn't reached his athletic ability for the football Giants, but you know, maybe he's somebody that we might want to bring in and see if he can show us a little something, maybe on a prove-it deal. Dante Pettis, maybe he's got okay speed, but I would rather have, if we're going to get somebody because of speed, I'd rather have John Ross, 96. Might be somebody worth picking up and playing slot for us in the upcoming year. And other than that, there's really no big names that we need to go after. So really, I'm not too much concerned about any of these guys other than maybe Jabril Peppers and possibly Evan Ingram. All right, so we tried to re-sign Evan Ingram. He says that he thinks he's going to test out free agency. So that kind of answers that for us. Jabril Peppers, I'm not really sure should we get him or not. They go opposite of Xavier McKinney. I do believe is still playing safety there for the Giants. Yeah, so Julian Love's 24. Jabril Peppers is 26. So there's a 5-point difference in overall. But that really doesn't matter a whole lot, right? We need to look at speed ratings. So just a little bit faster, a little quicker acceleration. Change of directions a little bit better on Julian Love. Awareness. If you want to know about awareness in Madden, you can check out this video. Awareness really doesn't matter that much. It's not as important. But when we go to play recognition, this is big things. Man coverage is better. Zone coverage is kind of a little bit goes in the favor of Julian Love. But I think we do re-sign Jabril Peppers. If we can, we're going to try to re-sign him, see if we can at least keep him back. Other than that, I think I'm going to let the entire rest of the roster just go for as far as everyone that we need to re-sign. Yeah, and Jabril only wants a 2-year deal. We still got $17 million in cap space. That's not a whole lot, to be honest with you. And he's out for 16 weeks. So somebody might not re-sign him, and we might be able to pick him up on a 1-year deal because he's still hurt. I don't think we re-sign Jabril Peppers. And I think a lot of these guys, we can just let go. I mean, look, they're all 29, 28. They're not going to regress a whole lot. They're not top tier players. They're players we can get in free agency that are a lot better. I think we just let them all go. Another thing that you'll notice before I even go any further is that we're at 81 completion percentage. Every player will get to 80%. That's another modification change from one of the mods that we installed that changes the way the draft or the scouting for the draft is in Madden. Before you couldn't get this high for every player. Now you can go in, you can kind of look at these players. You have a better understanding of exactly what of player you're drafting. So I think it's really important that this was put in there. And but one of the things they did to counter that is that these grades. So you see down below, block shedding's an A. They actually widen the range of what is considered an A. So just because they're A doesn't mean that that's going to be a guaranteed quality key rating. But you can see for Hutchinson, block shedding's A, power moves A, tackles A, finesse is B. So I mean, he's a top tier pass rusher, that is for sure, and somebody that we are going to definitely be looking at and probably bringing into a private workout. We actually get 6 of those. It's another big change, and I'm glad to see it because we're going to get more information on some of these players that we're going to consider drafting. All right, guys, so here we are, week 2 of free agency. We got OJ Howard signed. We also signed 2 offensive linemen, not any groundbreaking signings. I do like the OJ Howard. I think that's going to help out. I like to throw to the tight ends, so I think having somebody quick like OJ Howard is really going to complement our quarterback, which is going to be Daniel Jones. Unfortunately, we might go with a Sam Howell if he's there in the second round or someone like that. But I'm not drafting a quarterback this year. Unfortunately, we're going to ride the wave of Daniel Jones, but at least we're getting him some help that can actually help him. We also have focus scouting, and I scouted the top 3 offensive linemen. Nothing really big to worry about that. Let's look at the mock draft for it. That came in, or did we already look at that? No, we didn't. So it looks like quarterback Sam Howell is now switched. Kenny Pickett is going to, or I'm sorry, Sam Howell is now going to be the player that the Lions might go. Evan Neal's still looking like that's who they're going, and it looks like the computer thinks we should go defensive tackle, and that's definitely not going to happen for us. Not drafting a defensive tackle. All right, so now we're in week 3. I did go out and get us a defensive tackle because we had 0 on the roster. Also went through and cleaned up the roster, got rid of a lot of players that were like 50 overall and never even heard of. Probably practice squad guys that got overlooked. All right, so here we go. Here is the final mock draft. And it looks like the Jags are going to take Aiden Hutchinson. Top 5 projection. Carson Strong going to the Lions, and they got us taking Matt Corral, which is definitely not going to happen. Evan Neal's still there. So maybe Evan Neal might be somebody that we need to look at picking up. I wouldn't be opposed to taking 2 left tackles right off the rip whatsoever. If we can, we're definitely going to do it. All right, guys, the time is now, what we've all been waiting for. Who are going to be the new New York Giants? And since they gave the keys to the kingdom to Coach Donk, aka yours truly, I get to choose. No more GM. I am the GM. I am the coach. I get to decide everything. And who are we going to choose? Start drafting now. The new dynasty, the new New York Giants starts right now. So let's go ahead and pause this. Let's skip ahead to the next pick and see who. Aiden Hutchinson. The Jacksonville Jaguars go out. Hey, that looks good for us because that means that Neal or Iquanu or possibly Kayvon Thibodeau will be there for us to choose. And you'll see some of the logos are changed there. Houston Texans looks different. The Panthers have the outlines. Pretty cool. I like switching that up there. Let's go ahead and skip to the next pick and see who. Carson Strong. So in a surprise, the Detroit Lions select Carson Strong, quarterback out of Nevada. So that leaves us with some good picks. And who do we choose? Oh man. So that makes things a little interesting for us because the reason why I say that is because no left tackle is off the board, but Kayvon Thibodeau is sitting right there for us. Is it him or Evan Neal? Do we take a chance on getting Thibodeau and then turning around and getting either Iquanu or Neal? Or do we get both? And I just think having Thibodeau, getting both and having both lines would be instrumental. I think would really solidify our defense and offensive line if we're able to take Thibodeau and then turn around and maybe get Evan Neal if he's not gone. And even if he's not, we can get Iquanu. But what if we get Thibodeau? Oh man, this is going to be tough. All right, so I know this is going to probably this could backfire. I'm going to take Thibodeau. I think he's probably one of the best players in this draft. He's still there. We can get him, and then if we can turn around, I mean, there's left tackle, left tackle. There's a lot of left tackles on the board. I have to think that one of these are still going to be there for us. We're going to select Thibodeau. Oh, he better be good. I've never done this draft class. This was imported from the mod. Hidden archetyped. I just got stud finder. Overall still questionable. 85 acceleration, hidden development trait, 21 out of Oregon. Welcome to New York, Kayvon Thibodeau. Now here comes, we've got 3 picks before we get it. Will one of our left tackles still be there? Because if not, this will be a huge mistake by new GM head coach Frank Donk. We got to figure it out. Let's see. Advance a pick. Who we got? Derek Stingley out of LSU. So that helps us out even more. So the Jets, they need offensive line help, wide receiver help. I don't. They could go a bunch of different directions. They choose Garrett Wilson out of Ohio State. And that gives us the opportunity. Now, we know the Panthers need offensive linemen as well, so they're probably going to take Neal, I would imagine. Yeah, Evan Neal's gone, left tackle. Big deal, because we are sitting here. We get to make our selection. That actually worked out huge for us. That could have backfired. So I think we get 2 of the best players in the draft. It would have really helped out if we got Neal. But to get Thibodeau and to get Ekwonu, I think off the top, I think that's pretty big. Let's see. Hidden development trait. Overall's hidden. Is he good? Who knows? The agility, strength is really, really good, which is important. I just don't know. We're going to have to find out. Let's go to our next pick. All right, so 3rd pick in the 2nd round. The Lions just took Kenneth Walker, the 3rd out of Michigan State. Let's go ahead and make our selection. I really don't know who we're going to choose here. We're probably going to do best player available. Now, we've got Charles Cross still here. Left tackle, 1 to 2 talent. Do we again get another left tackle? Or Sam Howell is sitting here. So is Kenny Pickett. So is Matt Corral. There's 3 quarterbacks available for us. I have to think we need to double up. If we can get 3 top tier linemen, I think that would be absolutely huge. I'm sorry, 2 top tier linemen. This is, oh man, we still got quarterbacks. I still want to take a quarterback. I think we go with Charles Cross. We draft him. Add to this offensive line. Normal development trait. It's not that great, but we still have got a few options at quarterback that we still can draft. If we can get Pickett in the 3rd round, which that won't happen, that would be absolutely groundbreaking. All right, here we go. Round 3, pick 16 goes to the New York Football Giants. Let's pick a player. Are there any quarterbacks left on the board? No, there are not. We still got Dustin Crum out of Kent State. I think we go with Drake Jackson. We need some linebacker help. Bernard Raymond is sitting there as well out of Central Michigan. I really haven't looked at him. Pass block, run blocks A. That's actually not that bad. Physicals are, we don't know, because he only got to 75 scouting. We've already taken 2 left tackles. I think we go with Drake Jackson out of USC. He's got A tackle, A pursuit, B zone coverage, B block shedding. He's got a lot of player notes, which means he's got a lot of good traits. He's not overly fast, but I think it's somebody that we could draft, we could use on the outside. We're going to go with him. Hidden development trait. That might be the pick of the draft right there for the Giants. We'll have to see. All right, guys, the New York draft class for the 2022 draft is in, and check out this stellar draft class. First off, Kayvon Thibodeau, who at 77 overall has to be the best. He has to be the best the pick in the draft, right? Overall. Well, Aiden Hutchinson. No, Kyle Hamilton was the best. But we got tied for the 2nd best player. And then Ekwonu was tied with Evan Neal. So really, we got we got the best left or defensive end and the best left tackle in the draft. Okay. And we could be splitting hairs. It was tied for the best, but I'm happy with that. We've got a stud defensive end, maybe like Michael Strahan, maybe like LT. A little too early to tell, but might be. Got a new left tackle to protect whatever quarterback we decide to go with. Here's Crum. He's a 63 overall. He's garbage. So we've got a backup quarterback. Really not that worried about it. Also, the other left tackle we drafted, Charles Cross, 71 overall. I like that. Drake Jackson, a 70 overall. He's probably going to be starting from day one. All of these guys are day one starters, these first 4 picks, and you got to love it. Your first 4 picks are all day one starters. That is a good way to start off any franchise, especially when you've been given the keys to the kingdom like the New York ownership has done for us. All right, so for some of the changes, this is what I did. I actually moved, I kept Iquanu over here on the left tackle, and I moved Andrew Thomas to right tackle. That was pretty much the only thing I did outside of moving Leonard Williams to defensive tackle, because remember, we're going to do a 4-3. I think he'll thrive. That way, we now have Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Leonard Williams all on the same defensive line, all at the same time. We're going to be bringing pressure. We've got a decent, or not decent, we have a really good secondary. Linebacking core, we'll work on. Blake Martinez is solid. I think within time, this defense is going to be very solid. And we also strengthened the offensive lineup as well. So I'm happy with this first series, guys. This will be the end of the video. I think we've already improved the New York Giants tenfold. Defensive line is better. Offensive line is better. We added some depth to the defense as well. I think we're headed in the right direction. Next episode is one you're not going to want to miss, because you're going to get to see the new progression system, how that works. We're going to implement it at week 1. It'll determine how players develop throughout the season. You'll get to see that. We'll go through, we'll make sure we change all of our weekly strategies, our depth charts, and we'll play the preseason games. We'll probably go ahead and run through all 3 of them in one episode, knock them out. And then the following episode will be the start of the 2022 season with Frank Donk and the New York Football Giants. And hopefully it's the start of a dynasty. I'll catch everybody later. Peace out.